Let's do this!
Hi everybody, welcome to Jobs in Showbiz, and thank you to Warren P. Sonoda for inviting us into your creative space, aka your home.
My living room, Mike, and we're just getting ready for Christmas,
festive.
So hey, happy holidays everybody.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. We hope you are with friends, family, and we hope you learned something today.
And watching Canadian movies. Go out and see a Canadian movie.
Exactly. In specific, something he's done. So Warren...
Or any of my friends. That's one of the great things about doing this is you meet really great people and then you can be friends with them and you befriend them. So
Precisely.
Yeah.
Warren here is a filmmaker / director / everything guy.
Only on Mondays though. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I have off.
So we definitely caught him on an off day.
Off day.
Great. He is actively involved within the Canadian film industry and really pushing for Canadian content. In addition, you are heavily involved within the Canadian Film Festival.
The Cannes Film Fest, yeah. The Canadian Film Fest runs in March. It's coming up soon. We actually, submissions are open right now. I don't know when this episode will actually be on the Interverse
Yes,
soon.
yes.
The submission deadline is open. We opened our Harold Greenberg Fund script contest, and we go in March of 2018. So come on down if you're in Toronto. Come down to the Scotiabank Theatre. That's where our home base is now.
Amazing. So Warren's worked on shows such as The Trailer Park Boys,
Yes.
Dino Dana,
Yes.
Backstage.
Yes.
I mean, you've been in or directed commercials, music videos, feature films, TV series, so you're definitely on the right track.
If this whole film thing doesn't work out, I'm going to become a professional interview subject. Or moderator. I've done a lot of panel moderating, and I've always said, if this directing thing doesn't work out, I'm going to be a professional moderator. I do like talking to people. And things like this, Olivia, I think is great that you go out and you find people like myself that are trying to do the thing with the thing in the Canadian film world and give some oxygen to what we're doing. It's awesome.
Yeah, so
it's
today
awesome.
we're shining light on Warren.
Or the Christmas tree at least.
Yeah. So what I want to start off with is your film school journey.
Ooh.
I know you didn't necessarily complete it. Do you want to just share how that all evolved, what your feelings were during the time?
Well, it devolved very quickly. I went to Ryerson Film School, and I got to say this because I do ironically go back, not to Ryerson actually, they haven't asked me, but I do go to film schools and I talk to film students a lot, and I kind of say to them, listen, I am not the best person to talk about film school because I failed Ryerson Film School twice. I failed the first year I took film school. I only failed 2 classes, so I had to repeat that year, which was then my second year, but really my first. And then in my third year, which was really my second, I failed spectacularly. I failed every single subject I took by the midterms, I guess, the mid-semester, and then I didn't go back.
But it's not because you weren't interested, so I'm just having
No, film school, listen, people out there, especially young filmmakers or filmmakers in high school that are contemplating, what to do with their lives.
We still all wonder.
Yeah, so like make that list. I think film school is incredibly important. It to this day, the people that I went to film school with are still some of my best friends in the industry, and I work with them all the time. Inevitably, especially if you're good, you get that job offer while you're in school, and you have to weigh, do I not go to class and do this thing, and I decided not to go to class a lot. There's only 2 reasons why a director gets hired. It's execution and point of view, and that's it. And once you figure out those 2 things, you start to really understand where you're at in your directing career and your life. And mostly, I'm a firm believer that this dialogue that we have between filmmakers and artists and actors and screenwriters and producers, it has to continue. And the only way to do that is by doing what you're doing, is actually getting them down and having a dialogue.
Yes.
Or meeting in coffee shops with other directors. As a director, you don't really get to work with other directors. unless it's a panel at a film festival or
Right.
a roundtable discussion. I think film is an apprenticeship art, right? It's not like you go to school, you get the diploma, and you know how to perform surgery on a film. You actually have to go out and do it.
Yeah, it's experience, guys.
And you have to hear from the people that have done it before.
So looking back at all of the, I guess, films and little projects you have done, I actually saw an Instagram post with your scripts from like 2003, 4 to like.
Well, you've done your
now.
homework. You're like Brian Lanahan. Do you know who Brian Lanahan is?
Yes, I do.
Well, you do. You do know your homework.
He's
That's
my
fantastic.
inspiration.
That's very good. You're going to go back. It's like, well, in grade 4, before you got into Mr. Allen's class, I heard that.
That was a really cool picture. So I guess my question out of all that is, what's your trademark? Do you
What's my
have
trademark?
one? Like when somebody watches one of your films, is there something you want them to be like, oh, that's a Warren Sonoda film?
You know, it's a funny question. It's something that I think you grapple with once you start making movies more. And I go back to what I was saying before about execution and point of view. I'm wrestling on an ongoing basis now with my point of view because I think I lacked it severely as a young person. Because I was so wrapped up with actually making stuff, executing, learning how
Process.
how to direct a crew, like talk to. And I look at the stuff I did earlier, and it's almost severely lacking that point of view that I have now of the world, and that's something I'm trying to now. 10 films in, the next film I do is going to be a much more personal film. In fact, last summer, I took probably 20 steps back from what I've been doing in television and film work, and I directed a Fringe play for the first time.
Yes,
right?
I did see that too.
And it was the scariest thing I've done in my adult life, is because I forced myself to get out of my comfort zone. My girlfriend Jen Pogue really was the one that said, we should do Fringe. I'm like, I'm not so sure that we should do Fringe. And then she enters us into the Fringe lottery, and we get picked.
Yeah, and a few days sold out, so.
Yeah, and then the you do your own. That's fantastic. Purpose of that was for me to creatively go, listen, it's not Shakespeare, it's not the be all end all. I'm not David Mamet, but I wrote and directed and put this thing on, and it's me. For better or for worse, this is what I've got right now. And I don't even know if it's the best I got. It's just something I was able to do within the time that I had to do it. I loved it. I loved the experience.
Oh, yeah. Going back to your music videos, I think that's something you have a lot of experience in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on your website that you've edited just as many as you've directed, I think.
I've edited more, yeah.
Yeah, if not more. I think there was like over 250.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm asking is editing something you still incorporate into your films, or is that left to somebody else and that was only in the early stages of your career?
And the best compliment I've ever gotten was, and the thing I'm most proud of is my editing. If anybody sees this, that I've done the masterclass too, they're going to be, oh my god, Sonoda's saying the exact same thing. But I do say I've learned more about directing by editing than being a director. Like, I've learned more in an edit room than I have on set. Especially editing other people's work. When I got into music videos, so it was 1994, I want to say, 3 or 4. I'm dating myself now,
Like
but
24 years?
it's a long time ago. As I was failing out of Ryerson, there was a company called Black Walk Productions, which was the sort of poor cousin to Revolver, because Revolver was the bigger music video company in town, and they had all the money and the resources. And Black Walk was just this band of desperate, crazy, talented pirates that would make awesome music videos. And I, through a confluence of many events, I ended up on their doorstep as a young director, and I actually PA'd for them for the first time for a weekend. But I was just a horrible PA. I was like a lousy PA. And
Well, it's good you got to experience that.
yeah, it was great. And I also it reinforces my respect for PAs and for crew members, because it's a hard job, and I just was not very good at it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was wrapping Joy Cable out, and the producer came up to me and said, "Hey, Warren, man, you're a bad PA.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not good at all. And then Dave's like, listen, you're a horrible PA, but why don't you go home, have a shower, and come into the office, and you can direct for us.
Wow.
And that was it. And I did. I went home, I had a shower, and I was exhausted, but I went into Black Walk. And if my memory serves, there was already a bunch of music videos being edited, and I just walked into the edit suite, and Richard Cooperman, who is the senior editor there, was like, "Hey kid, how you doing? What's up? I'm Richard, I'm the editor here." And there was also another senior editor, Andrew Kowalchuk, who's like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Andrew." I'm doing great impressions on the phone. And
they're watching.
Well, and they changed my life. I mean, Andrew and the Coop kind of taught me everything about editing and about being an editor, and that's how I really started.
Yeah.
So
now let's switch gears a little bit. I want to briefly talk about your opinion on the whole Harvey Weinstein, Me Too, the sexual harassment. Is there like a message you want to send to either the people that have been affected or just your viewpoint on the matter?
The message I would have is for all people out there to listen more, and you know, does the world need an opinion of a Japanese Canadian male director right now? I don't think so. I think I need to hear what women are saying about this and help them and support them. And but there is day to day. It's not even sexual abuse. It's bad behavior. It's going to set and there's that one asshole that's just a jerk.
Yeah.
And that's abusive. That's harassment as well. And that all gets crumpled into the same thing. And what I hope comes out of this watershed moment, this tipping point, this whatever this moment is, this year has been, is those people get called out more, and that behavior gets completely annihilated from the workplace.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. And before I let you go, if there was another job you could do on set, preferably something you haven't already done, what would it be and why?
What would I do on set? I would actually, as hard as it is, I would love to work in the art department. Because there's something in it, and my production designers and my set dressers kind of hate me for this, because I'll always rearrange stuff in the shot, right? You're not supposed to, but like, It's like I see the frame, I kind of know that this candlestick needs to move, 5 inches over there.
It's growing out of their head.
Yeah, and it's going to take me, 10 minutes to explain what it is, so I'll just go over. But there is something to be said about making that immaculate frame where everything's just so. Especially if the story calls for that. There you go.
So thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for Warren for having us here. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
Like it, follow, subscribe, share. On all the platforms. Facebook, Insta, Twitter. What else?
YouTube, obviously.
YouTube.
Come
Yeah,
on.
subscribe to the channel at YouTube. Subscriptions count, so.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.